unleash your inner revolution. This is the rebirth of the black sheep. Let's discuss this topic, the black sheep. Have you ever felt rejected, abandoned, like you don't fit in, different from everybody and not quite knowing why? This is part of the wisdom of the black sheep. And we're going to be getting into this today because this is so important for you on your journey of awakening, of your journey of the revolution of who you were to who you are now. And so I thought it was really important to bring this in. And not only that, I'm going to invite you to join me on the 12th of May for a 3-hour super soul session, as we're going to get into these energies, but also these revolutionary energies that are available when we harness the power of our own essence of being a black sheep. The fact that you feel like you don't fit in, or that you have been exiled or rejected, is because there is an incredible amount of power in you that is waiting to be awoken and used as gold. Now, I would love to thank everybody who's already subscribed to my channel, as I'm getting a new energy vibe coming in. And welcome to everybody who's commented so far. If you feel like you've ever been a misfit or not fit in, or a black sheep or a scapegoat or any kind of these energies, please put a comment below, share your wisdom, share your experience, because I know from what I have been channeling, but also healing within myself, that there is a massive time now. This is part of the rising. And here we are turning rejection into rapture and victimization into victory. And how do we do that? How do we do that? By really harnessing our own soul's journey, not just healing and getting on with it. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about eradicating the old life of who you were, which is very apt right now as we're traversing from the old paradigm and into the new. That how we are moving from that victim mentality, that from those power over structures, etc., into the victory of living your soul embodiment, and what this means. And this is why I'm merging these deep practices with the higher consciousness, because as you get to know me and this channel and what this work is about, is really this incredible soul alignment, opening the space within the body, freeing ourselves from past woes, traumas, etc., but really merging that with the ceremonial life, this return to the sacred human, the sacred life. What does that really mean to live that every day, so that your whole life becomes this beautiful devotional practice to opening more and more and more to your soul authentically, as deeply rooted as you are channeling your higher consciousness. And any other spirit guides that wish to drop in, yeah, if you've listened to my last video about Nostradamus, you'll realize that, you know, in these openings, new energies come in. So I really want to talk a bit more into this energy of the black sheep, but more importantly, the rebirth of the black sheep, because this is where we start to get the gold. And this is about breaking the rules of who you were and becoming who you truly are. So not only am I sharing some of my experience here on this channel about the walk-ins and the soul work, etc. It's really important that the deeper you go, the higher you can also rise. And this is why I say in my video about the essence of the deep feminine and the pure feminine rising, is that it says it in the word rise. Now, if you can get deeper, if you can get even more rooted and really profoundly rooted in the fertile soil that is your body and your right to be here as a sovereign being, the higher you will be able to open up to the glory and the magnificence that you are as a divine being, as a creator in yourself. So this is why I offer these teachings in a very deep, profound way, because it's the light that is in the dark. That is where you get the gold. And this is why I always say, I'm not teaching, how to be all lovely. Okay, I can wear a pretty dress from time to time, like today. But the divine feminine is not about pretty dresses, and it's not about escaping or transcending without those roots. And this is why the essence of the black sheep is utterly profound, because I truly believe that those of you who have felt like a misfit, or you don't fit in, or rejected in any kind of way whatsoever, or betrayal, you hold the keys. You hold the keys to this new earth leadership that is calling you out right now to step forward and say hello and say, yes, that has been my journey. That has been part of my story. How do we rise now? So if you recognize this, please like and subscribe, drop a comment, and if you feel to join me, then check out the link for my Rebirth of the Black Sheep program, which I'm going to run for the first time on May the 12th. If I've got enough people coming in, hopefully, because one of the things about being a black sheep is that you have to completely, you have to trust in becoming this lone wolf, this pioneer, this soul voyager into the unknown. That, I mean, I left the country that I was living in, so I really left a whole other life behind. And it's challenging doing that, let alone leaving a relationship or a job or friends or whatever. I've actually done that twice, because I was married to somebody in France and then I was married to somebody in Holland. So it seems to be part of my journey of this great returning home. And now I am on my motherland right now. But believe me, that has been quite a journey to live in multiple places abroad, to leave all of that behind, and to trust in this process of, I don't belong there. I don't belong there. I don't fit in. And not only that, the abuse that comes your way by not being able to fit in. And this is because you're too big. You're big. Your light shines brightly. And this is what we're going to be working on and bringing out of you. So make sure you join me. Make sure you join me. Let's get started then. Let us get started. So, first of all, I've got a few points that I want to talk to. And the first one is the rejection. The rejection is your invitation. Now, when we talk about how you may feel like an outsider, when you feel you may be accused of being too much or being oversensitive. Goodness me, I recognize that. Do you recognize that as well? Being told to quiet down or don't share your opinions anymore. Now, this is never a weakness. This is a sign of how strong you are, because and this is also a sign that you are tapping into the feminine rising, because there's been a collective energy field for centuries on the suppression of the feminine. And here we start to recognize the keys of that suppression. You're too much, you're too loud, you're too this, you're too that, you're too sensitive. Whatever it is, all of that is because your light is shining so brightly that you are naturally triggering that which wants to be exposed in the other. Your light is triggering the darkness, the shadows, the trauma, etc., that the other person is not able to face or confront or heal at that time. So when you start working through these cycles of mirroring in this way, eventually, once you get through your healing, you are able to see in a very compassionate and grounded way, not like a transcendent, oh my gosh, I have to forgive everybody way. No, this grounded place of compassion in realizing we are all suffering. we are all having a really hard time on this planet. Even those who are having a great time. I'm sure that, it's like if we really get down to the work, like what is hiding there? And this is often what we trigger as bright sparks of light in our lives. We trigger these dark places. And this is where, and this can happen in friendships that you've had for a long time, or with family members, or even in your marriage or relationship, that if you are like me, I've always been looking for the next growth. Like I've always been in this evolutionary process. I think for me personally, it's because I'm a true artist, and I'm always in that development process, of creation, and therefore because I have become that, um, I've always wanted to grow and others haven't. So your sensitivity and your too muchness, your too whatever, is a sign of how great you are. And this essentially is the universe inviting you to step into your sacred power. And because I've been through it not just once, but multiple times, like 40 odd years of it, I'm a pro. I'm a pro. Coming out the other side with all of that wisdom in my medicine pouch, ready to share it. Um, so, yes, your rejection is your invitation. And this is why when I work with people as well, I always love to hear your stories. So, to share your personal story of rejection allows that process to start to be liberated, and allows that process to turn into a journey of reclamation and of self-sovereignty. This is also why in the Rebirth of the Black Sheep program that I am starting on the 12th of May, I am not just offering a 3 hour session, I'm inviting you to share your story, tell your story, and be part of my exhibition next year. I want to create a new piece of art that is specifically about the voices of the feminine rising in this context of the black sheep. I have an amazing piece of artwork that I want to create for this exhibition, and I invite you from all over the world. I'd love to have all the black sheep from all over the world sharing their stories and being part of this artifact that I'm going to create. So this is why your personal story and liberating your voice, liberating the light of your voice, is really important in this process. So let's move on to the awakening of your true leadership. And like I said, I really truly believe that the new earth leaders, most of them are not seen or heard or felt yet. And I said this in my first awakening video, in my coming out video, that it's a vibration. It's not called a new earth frequency for nothing. It says it in the words, although it's a frequency. It's it's um it's a feeling, and it's an inner movement of evolution and rising that comes with a whole new opening of consciousness. And I know a lot of you know what I'm talking about because I've had so many amazing, beautiful comments about this. You are the leaders. If you recognize what I'm talking about, you are the leaders and you are being called out, and it's your voices that I would like to hear. Um, so, you are the women who have been the lone wolf, the black sheep, the scapegoat. There's a lot of power animals in there. You should get talking to my partner about the healing of that, with animal wisdom. So anyway, I digress. So the black sheep are the true leaders of this new world, because you are the women who have had to learn how to lead yourself. And this is what I talk about as well, is we go beyond methods, we go beyond anything that we knew before, we let it go, we surrender full-heartedly into the transmission of this new frequency, which is calling us through this portal of radical transformation, where there is no return. It's like going through the black hole portal of the black sheep. And having to lead yourself through that darkness and actually realize it's the other way around. You are the light. You are the pearl in the darkness. You are the bright, shining spark of light when it feels and looks like all is gone. You are the new earth leaders. And I want to hear from you. And I'm going to be pioneering women from all over the world exactly for this reason. I am really fed up I am really fed up of fake leadership. It's like, no, when you feel this vibration of love and you work, you cannot do anything else but function from this place of love. You feel it. You feel it. So let's do this together, ladies. I know you can feel me. We're deep and we're divine all at the same time. So I would really love you to encourage yourself to emerge. Know that you are your role, your sacred role or in life, however it's going to look like. All roles in this evolution are equally important, even if they look different. We are breaking out of the hierarchical structures. Like I said in another video, anyone who has based their work on any form of hierarchical structures, even if it is a spiritual business from the old paradigm, it's going to fall apart. Now, you black sheep, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because you probably like me, you're like, there's something else waiting. And this is because you're a true pioneer, that you are being guided by nothing but that inner light all the way. And this is why you haven't been able to fit in. This is why you have been rejected or victimized. It's because your light shines so brightly and you have not sold that light of your heart for anything. So this is what the rapture is, awakening that. And this is what the victory is, illuminating that power that you are within. So I really want to encourage you to embrace your role as a change maker and just allow that to move inside you first of all. How does that feel? How does that feel now that I am validating you and your journey, your spiritual awakening, your walk-in journey, your revolutionary like inner revolution that has been happening? How does that feel to be validated right now? And how can we take that further? This is why I'm going to make a piece of art about it. And this is why I'm inviting you to join me on the 12th of May. And I'm sure I will do others as well with this along the way, but this will be the first pioneering one because we have to pioneer, don't we? As black sheep, we are continually pioneering. So I would love just to take a moment, just acknowledge that in you breaking the rules, you have this radical self-trust that is needed. And this is the leadership. This is why you don't follow any methods, or perhaps you have and they've got you so far. And then you found another method and it's got you so far. And this is how you've journeyed. It's like going up to different plateaus on the mountain. It's like, oh, I get a little bit higher. And how can I reach, the top, or, also same going downwards. Takes quite a journey. So, this is radical self-trust, and it is here where you unlock, untap, break open that energy of creation because you are leading. Creation comes from the destruction of the old and the reevaluation of the situation, the reformatting, I want to say, the reviewing, seeing from a different perspective, and continuing that process from that disillusion into creation. And this is also where your unapologetic power comes from. So I love working with women who really want to heal from things such as narcissistic abuse or rejection and really want to know the true consciousness, the loving, conscious awareness that goes right straight to the core of healing these these things that we have carried with us the whole of our lives, the rejection, the victimization, the emotional abuse, etc. Here we get right to the core. And this is where I come on to my next point, turning pain into sacred power. Because this is where I invite you to, when we lean into that pain, lean into that feeling of rejection and victimization, this is where the sacred power starts to illuminate itself, going into that dark space, becoming the black sheep, becoming that closed vessel, trusting that you can go so deeply inside that you are going to take the fire and the light of your own heart down into the depths and the caverns, those untamed caverns that when you were a child, you were awakening within yourself, and pieces of yourself have been locked away or caged or rejected or whatever it is, learning to turn that pain into sacred power. And this is why, as you learn to get and you get to know me, the being an artist, and I'm talking about I can share the essence of true artistry with you because I have lived, not only have I created so many art projects all of my life, but realizing now as well, and through the making of my oracle deck, that my life is actually art, and there's been no escaping it. And that's why I think I came to such a big radical awakening these last years. But it's through that destruction and creation process that we can learn how to turn all of that pain into sacred power, gather the gold, dive for the pearls, like, oh, and awaken that energy within. And this is, a deeply alchemical process. And we're turning the wounds from the past into fuel, ignition to light your flame of your greatness even more, and building this energy of magnetism and confidence. Because I don't know about you, but I have, for most of my life, always wondered, like, why have I not got much confidence? And I sort of built my confidence a bit, and then it went down, and then I always attracted people, from that place of wounding that would break me down even more. So, so gosh, I can't believe I'm laughing about it now. What a tragedy comedy this is. So this is, I can't even believe I'm talking like this, honestly. It must mean that I'm actually healing, which is great. Yeah, goodness me. I think this is what happens when you hit rock bottom, and then it's like you smash through the bottom and you smash through the top, and then it's like boom, landing right back in the core of the heart. So so this is what I'm so passionate about and really look forward to sharing with you as well. Because the sacred feminine, like I said, it's not all, it's grace, it's graciousness, but it's also this radical truth of love that is going to take you down in order to get the light. And this is one of the things that makes people reject you or victimize you, because often people might think, oh yeah, okay, can you help me with this? Can you show me, where I'm having this issue, or can you help me with this? You shine your light so brightly that it actually you have to go down into that excavation process in order to get that light. But let's face it, a lot of people aren't able to go there, like I said. And this creates that traction, that reaction, and it makes you the bad guy, the black sheep. And it's like, oh my God, what have you done? You wanted to uncover my ego that I've been hiding for years and eons and past lifetimes. How dare you? It's your fault. And I'm saying, no, we're not doing it like that anymore. And this is the paradigm shift. And this is why you're a leader, because everybody who's been downtrodden is I you're the leaders. You are the leaders, and you are the new leaders. I really can't wait to get this message out more. And there's a reordering of the structures of humanity right now, and the true reordering, which is starting to happen right now, comes from a synarchy. It doesn't come from power over. This was shown to me during my breakdown how this works. I and what can I say? It just takes a while for it to sink in. But there's a big reordering happening. So, like, you'll also discover your desires and wishes for life, they change. And this is where the true leadership comes in, because you look after the soul's journey. You don't look after your pocket, and you don't look after your status or the status quo. You look after the nurturing of the sacred heart of humanity. And this is the true leadership, the true leadership and the true sovereignty. So let's move on to the call to rise and to claim your radiance. So from this place of reclamation, and knowing, having the confidence in that place within you, knowing that you have been all through this for a reason. In one of my other videos that I was saying about, over here we've got, this is the story of my life. This is what happened. Oh my gosh, this and this, that was awful. I can't believe it. You flip it on itself, and you've got your divine blueprint. And this is what's so incredible about this work that I've been developing straight from the cracking open of reality itself, is that it shows you how to rise. And so where your pain was is exactly where the pearl is. And where the poison was is exactly where the medicine is. And daring to take that journey. And part of that is, first of all, joining me, the ones who know, the ones who've been through it, the ones who've been through it and come out the other side and said, hey, hang on a minute, there's something not quite right here. and and to reclaim that power. Because I know that there's so many women who go through this, particularly, middle-aged women like myself. It's like, oh my God, I'm way too old. How can I possibly start life again? And I've been working with women from late 30s, 40s, 50s, and even some in their 60s who are like, wow, thank you for showing me this journey and this revelation to give me confidence in myself. I've got so much life left in me. And so, yeah, this is what I love. This is what I love doing. So, in this work that I do, and this journey that I've been on, it's we head into it. We lean into the victimization. You lean into the darkness to find the light. You lean into the rejection to find the rapture. You lean into the tragedy and find the comedy. Like, this is how it works. It's daring, but it's pioneering. And this is why this is the rebirth of the black sheep. Because in my world, we don't just leave those people who've been bullied or been subject to narcissistic abuse. We don't just leave them on the shelf. We say, oh my goodness, come with me. We are pioneering. We are pioneering from that pain. And we do great things with it. We do great things with it. And you have the opportunity to reclaim so much more of that light when you're working with people who know what it is to reclaim that light. So I hear you and I see you and I feel you, and I know that this incredible transformation is possible. Um, so like I said, even though I'm working with a lot of grace energies, I'm working with a lot of beautiful sacred feminine energies, we have to go deep. We have to go deep as well. So this is why, and it's like, Yeah. We're just like, let's just play with what that means about, how can I get a bit deeper in order to get a bit higher and like stretch yourself into a new reality. Yeah. So, yeah, you're the women who've walked through fire, and walking through the fire is also, in a way, we touch also on the witch wound that lies within our DNA and our bodies as women. And this is why walking through the fire, in a way, and I will share this with you, is there's something very powerful in, rather than shying away from those very profound karmic wounds we're talking about now, is actually leaning into that wisdom. When I first started realizing this, that it was part of what was playing through me in my breakthrough, in my breakdown. It's not all enlightenment just dropping in. It's so it's so radically wild that even things like the coding, the genetic coding, I want to say, the genetic coding that comes in with such things like the witch wound. I lent into the power and the wisdom of fire to understand what that burning meant, to be a scorned woman, a rejected woman, and also, like our sacred sisters of the past, burned alive for their sacred wisdom. Like, this is unbelievable amounts of power that these women held, that is now available, running through you, through me, and we are awakening this and healing this and saying, now I feel your sacred flame. I feel that light. I am going to share my voice in this from that deep place of remembrance. So, this is also what is available when we are working. And this is why I really talk about embodiment so much, that we go, with me, you go beyond knowledge. You become that vessel of recreating yourself in yourself. So now, now is this invitation to stop hiding and to show up unapologetically as your true radiant self. And I will say that there is a refinement here, because being unapologetic doesn't mean bringing up the shields and being like a wounded, shielded maiden, where you've still got your inner child kicking and screaming inside, who's kind of saying F off to the whole world. We're not saying unapologetic in that way, that you can just do anything now. We're talking about this beautiful new weaving of creation that comes in, allowing that sacred grace of the feminine to also rise and merge with she who has died and resurrected. It's very much the deep goddesses energy, as much as the light goddess energy, deep feminine as well as light feminine. And this is the alchemy. This is the alchemy. So being unapologetic doesn't mean just mouthing off anything in order to create yourself as untouchable because you feel so wounded in life. When women come to work with me, I I gently open up the space for you to feel the amount of love that is available when you really step into truly who you were always meant to be. And this is why this path I bring, I mean, everyone has to walk their own path, but yeah, we also do this with a lot of power, but also a lot of beautiful softness. So yeah, so now I'd like to invite you to join the rebirth. We're all part of this rebirth right now, as a collective consciousness on the planet of humanity. We're rebirthing the heart, the deep sacred heart of of the feminine, of Mother Earth, of humanity. We're rebirthing that heart. I've been shown this multiple times in my early ceremonies, about seven or 8 years ago now. I was shown parts of my process. Like I had a comment today about, am I a walk-in or just an awakening? And it's such a great question. I will have to talk more into that. But there's a gradual process. There's not just one awakening. It's like, oh, that's done. It's such a gradual process. And when you enter into ceremonial life and you start to become this dot connector, you will see that you pick up not only the gold from, turning from that old life to the new life, but you're picking up these pieces and you're weaving. This is part of the medicine of the sacred grandmothers, the 13 grandmothers. This medicine is also available in you. You are a creatrix. You are a sacred gatekeeper of the divine consciousness and the sacred keys of creation. And all of this is unlocked by, heading in, lean into the dark, get the pearls, get the fire, get the wisdom. Oh, goodness me. How beautiful. So this is the new era of feminine leadership. And it's not going to come without this leaning in into the transformation, into those uncomfortable places. But knowing those who have been before you can create some level of assurance, let's say, even though I do talk about going beyond your comfort zones. And ultimately, you will only be able to take this journey alone, coming out of where you have known your comfort zones or any support zones, coming out of all of that and in really much more deeply into you. And this is why my guidance is always leading you to become your greatest guide that you have ever known in your life. Because if you are heading into this and you feel this self-evolution, you will want to know how to hold yourself as your greatest guide when your time comes. It's amazing. It's amazing. So yes, so I'd like to say that I'm inviting you into the rebirth of the black sheep. It's just 3 hours to get to know me, my work. I'm going to be giving you lots of greatness. You're going to be able to also talk with me. We're going to be in a super soul session. This is what I call my one-to-ones. We're soul sessions together. And yeah, this is not just a course. This is about stepping into this movement, and it's a revolution, a revelation into this feminine energy rising in this new leadership that I've told you that is possible. This sacred leadership and this creative freedom as well. This is what is also powerful about what I bring to you as a creator, as an artist, is saying we are creating. And I'm obviously, I know the ways of creating, and even if you haven't picked up a paintbrush or a pen or whatever it is in ages, it's not about that. It's not about being an artist. It's being about creator of your new reality. So I'd love to invite you into the rebirth of the black sheep, and all of the details are below. You can get all of the links there. Get in there. I will love to meet you and get to work with you. And just like this first introduction to turning the rejection into rapture, turning the victimization into victory, and like, wow, I want you to leave like realizing, oh my goodness, I never knew that my power came from that place, that I can reclaim this from here and there. This is what I want to share with you. So join me in the rebirth of the black sheep. If you have any questions, please ask me. And yeah, really join me in this new wave of feminine leadership that I am awakening and calling out because the old way of doing things is not going to create change. That's a fact. So, so yeah, check out the links below. Thank you for joining me on this video. And I'm going to be talking more into these divine teachings and deep teachings of the sacred feminine, but also into the synarchy of the new earth leadership as well as these energies that are available. One of the things that's beautiful about following me or working with me is I don't just give you knowledge. We are going on a journey to know how to embody that knowledge so that that knowledge works through you, cleaning you out and transforms in itself into wisdom. This is what I'm talking about. So, lots of love to you. Thank you for joining me. And we'll see you again soon. Get in touch, leave your comments, and sign up. Sign up to join me on the Rebirth of the Black Sheep. Oh, yes, I knew there was one last thing. And not to forget that those who are joining me on this program, I'm going to invite you into my exhibition next year to be part of an artifact that I'm creating. Don't forget that. So, this is another reason why this is not just a course. I don't do normal things. You'll find out more and more as we grow this community, this beautiful community of true awakening together. Okay, that's enough. All right, lots of love and see you again soon. Bye for now.